Hello and welcome to Market Flash. Today we're going to talk about Bitcoin as well as Ethereum in this video. So yesterday we had the Fed rate cut announcement, and we got another 25-point base rate cut announcement by Fed, and that caused Bitcoin to go a little higher to all the way to around almost $94,000, but unfortunately it got rejected and wasn't able to go and see higher prices. But if you look at the stock market, especially S&P 500, it went up, but Bitcoin struggled to go and see higher prices. And that itself is an indication that this red line that we draw, which is sitting at around $93,000 to $94,000, is a very strong resistance area for Bitcoin, and Bitcoin so far hasn't been able to break through this resistance level. We got some wick above it, but for us to see that Bitcoin will go and see higher prices, the first indication will be if we get a daily candle closed above $93,000 to $94,000. Then that is the first indication that Bitcoin should go and see higher prices. And also, if you look at this downtrend parallel channel and macro level, is also putting a lot of resistance on Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is struggling to break through this channel, as well as this short-term uptrend channel that Bitcoin so far has been moving around this parallel uptrend channel. This is also sitting at around $95,000. So we have a lot of resistance for Bitcoin at its current prices, around $93,000 to $94,000. And if Bitcoin is able to pass through this resistance level, and it's very likely to go and see higher prices to around $100,000. And if you've watched my previous videos, I've mentioned that Bitcoin will very likely to go and see prices at around $100,000, and from there it will get rejected to continue the bear market downtrend. But we have to wait and see if Bitcoin will be able to do that or not, because right now it's a very decision-making time for Bitcoin, and it's struggling right now. But I also want to mention here that if we get Bitcoin price go down to around $88,000, that's the first indication, and stay there for some time, that's the first indication that Bitcoin will go further down and see lower prices. And then if you might ask me, look, then how Bitcoin will go and see higher prices like around $100,000 if it goes down? Well, if it goes down below $88,000, that's the first indication that Bitcoin will go and see lower prices, and the lower target for Bitcoin, the next lower target for Bitcoin, will be around $70,000 to $74,000. But regardless, if Bitcoin will go and see higher prices and will go directly to $100,000 from its current price, then it will get rejected from there and continue the bear market downtrend. But if not, if Bitcoin go down to around $70,000 to $74,000, then still I believe that Bitcoin will go higher from here to around $100,000, and then will get rejected to continue the bear market downtrend. So in other words, if Bitcoin can break through this resistance level, it will go directly to around $100,000 and then will get rejected from there. But if not, if Bitcoin go below $88,000, then it's likely for Bitcoin to go to around $70,000 to $74,000, and then will go up to around $100,000. But we have to wait and see, because Bitcoin is currently struggling around this resistance level so far. And I've mentioned that since this is a strong resistance level, Bitcoin is going to stay there for some time and consolidate and only see choppy price actions. and we are not seeing any signs of a strong rejection from here either. So we have to wait and see what's going to happen. But all I'm saying is that this is a very critical decision making time for Bitcoin to see higher prices or to go and see lower prices first before seeing higher prices at around $100,000. And if we take a look at these two indicators, the Bitcoin daily RSI, we still have room for Bitcoin to see to go higher, and we are not in overbought territory, as well as the daily MACD for Bitcoin is still flashing green signals, indicating that there's bullish momentum for Bitcoin to go and see higher prices. Now let's take a look at Ethereum. Ethereum is also showing very similar to Bitcoin price actions. Ethereum is struggling to break this downward macro level parallel channel, as well as this smaller time frame upward parallel channel is causing Ethereum to struggle to break these two channels. So far, Ethereum is struggling to break this red line, which is sitting at around $3,400. That's the major resistance level for Ethereum. And it has tried a couple of times, but it hasn't been able to break through this level. But we have to wait and see, because Ethereum is pretty much following the same price action as Bitcoin so far. And looking at Ethereum daily RSI, we can see that we still have room for the Ethereum's daily RSI to go higher. We are not in overbought area, as well as the Ethereum daily MACD is also flashing green signals, showing bullish momentum for Ethereum as well. And also it's worth mentioning here that if Ethereum goes down to around $3,040 below this level and it stay there for some time, then it's very likely for Ethereum to go and see lower prices. First level of support, if Ethereum break this channel, will be at around $2,600. Next is $2,400. And if it breaks both these support levels, then Ethereum can go down to all the way to around $2,123. But we have to wait and see. So far it's struggling, and it's also not getting any strong rejection or anything like that. But like I said, both Ethereum and Bitcoin is now in a very critical decision time making for both Ethereum and Bitcoin. But we have to wait and see if Ethereum as well as Bitcoin will be able to break these resistance levels. Alright guys, that's it for today's video. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned for the next video update that's coming tomorrow.